Shane Stars with DroidMotorX.com, and today we're going to be looking at the CarbonRom for the Galaxy Note 2 on Verizon. Now, the number one thing that drew me to this ROM is that one of the developers that works on it is KJR31. He's one of my favorite all-time developers. Some of you probably know him from his days of running the Gummy ROM. He was a number one developer on that ROM, and that was probably one of the most successful ROMs in Android development history. And then another big ROM that he was a part of was Team Liberty way back in the day on Motorola devices. So some of you guys will know who KJR31 is. He's probably the main reason that I decided to download this ROM and run it. And this ROM has really worked out really great. This is totally AOSP, so first things first, this takes all TouchWiz elements away. So you're not going to have one-handed functionality, you're not going to have S Pen functionality. Obviously your S Pen will work, you're just not going to have the custom functionality that TouchWiz brings. You're not going to have S Note or S Voice or anything like that. But even though you're losing those features, AOSP is incredibly fast, especially the CarbonRom. If any of you guys are familiar with Team Liquid, some of their former members decided to take the Liquid ROM and tear it apart, rebuild it with, cleaner code, and they've added some mods and hacks to make this thing perform even better than it did when it was Team Liquid. So just so you know, they have modified it enough to where this is its own ROM. It's this is the CarbonRom. It's not just a canned Team Liquid ROM or a forked version of Team Liquid. I mean, they've put enough work into this that this is their ROM now, and it works amazingly. So I did run a quadrant score on here, and I'm getting about 5,600 on my quadrant score, which is pretty awesome. And then as you can see, we can fly through the screens, and you can see just how fast it runs. So it is buttery smooth. Not only is it very, very smooth, but it's also packed with features. So if we go into the settings and about phone, you'll see that we are running Android 4.2.2, so this is the latest version of Android, and we are running the Trinity Carbon kernel. This kernel is LINARO compiled, which means that it should be more efficient than the stock Android kernel, and overall performance should improve. And then we're running Carbon Jelly Bean version 1.5. Now Carbon recently started doing nightlies, so you can kind of be on the lookout for that as well. About CarbonRom, this just gives us a list of all of the developers that are involved, including my man KJR31 there, and then of course the former members of Team Liquid. And then there's also a spot to donate to Carbon Dev. Be sure that you go ahead and donate to them so that they can get their build machine going, and they can pump out nightlies for us. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about real quickly here is battery life. I've been getting excellent battery life on this ROM. 15 hours or more most days with, at least 4 hours of screen on time. So real quickly, we'll look at that, and then we'll look at all these awesome settings. So far, I've got almost 13 hours with 23% left, so that's only 1/4 of the battery left, but I've gotten 13 hours already. If we click on screen, I've gotten over 3.5 hours, so I'll easily be able to get 4 hours of screen on time, and this will last me until I go to sleep tonight. It's 6:47. My battery, I'll probably still have some juice left before I go to sleep, and that's using the crap out of that screen. So we'll look at settings real quick. Interface, there's tons of stuff you can do here. Carrier label, a notification drawer style, you can change that. You can change notification shortcuts, so I've got a few added here. My camera and my Gmail, that's pretty neat. UI mode, you can actually change to phablet or tablet mode there. Pi controls, you can set up Pi controls like so, which is always really nice. There are also per app settings, so you can change one application at a time to tablet mode. So if you wanted a tablet mode, YouTube or whatever, you could do that, which is awesome for the Note 2. But it works the same on CarbonRoms across all devices. You have your CRT screen on and off there that you can choose. Lock screen options, you can change the lock screen. You can change the clock widget, and you can change the shortcuts here, so you can add a shortcut or remove a shortcut, like so. So I wouldn't really, I would personally not enable the nav bar on the Galaxy Note 2, simply because I already have hardware buttons, and that just takes up screen real estate. But if you wanted to, you could enable that, and then you'd be able to change the button quantity up to 5 buttons, and you could also change what the buttons are. So you could change the action to any application, and then that would show up in your nav bar, which is really neat. You can also change the height and width of your nav bar so it doesn't take up as much screen real estate. Performance settings, here you can actually overclock. On the Note 2 you can go up to 2000 megahertz or 2 gigahertz. You can change your voltage settings, and there are some advanced settings there as well. All kinds of settings in the performance options. You can change your governor. In the power menu, we can choose to have the expanded desktop. So if you're on a phone that doesn't have hard keys and you have navigation keys, if you decide to go with the Pi control, you can expand the desktop, remove your navigation keys since you have the Pi control. That just gives you extra screen real estate. It's a pretty neat feature. Power widgets. In 4.2.2 we don't really need these since we have quick settings, but if you like those or prefer those, they are there. And then you can enable different toggles on your quick settings, so you're able to customize your quick settings, which is a really neat feature. You can change the order or how many you like per row. You can add, choose who your favorite contact is, so it won't be the person you call the most. It'll actually be like your wife or your significant other. You can choose that person there so that they'll never be offended if you've talked to somebody else more. You can enable fast toggles. And status bar settings, you can change the battery icon. You can also add a battery bar. You can choose the location, the color, and the thickness, and add a charging animation. Clock and date, you can choose to show the clock or take it away, and then there's some customizations there as well. And then you have themes. So this would be the theme chooser. Any theme that's compatible with CM10 or AOKP from the Play Store, you'll be able to install and choose it from here. So you can also see that they've kind of taken the time to customize the appearance of the settings, and you'll find that they've put a lot of work into the framework and all of that good stuff. So this ROM looks really nice. It is very smooth, battery life is great, and you have all the customization settings that you would ever need. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and install the ROM now. So to install the CarbonRom, you're going to want to download the files. There's a CarbonRom file, and then you'll need the G apps as well. So grab those from the link in the description. And we'll go ahead and boot into recovery. You'll be able to flash this from Twerp or Clockwork Mod Recovery. Either will work just fine. Once you're booted into recovery, of course, you're just going to do your wipes. So wipe data, select yes. Wipe cache, select yes. Advanced and wipe Dalvik cache, select yes. Then we'll go back to install zip from SD card. Choose zip from SD card. We'll go to our download folder, and we are looking for the CarbonRom version 1.5 or whatever the latest nightly is. You'll go ahead and select that. Select yes to flash, and then you'll go back and install zip from SD card. Choose zip from SD card. Go to your download folder and find the most current Jelly Bean G apps and select that and go ahead and flash that. Once that's all installed, we'll just go ahead and reboot the system. And I'll leave you guys with the CarbonRom boot animation. Nothing fancy, just nice and smooth, like the CarbonRom itself. Anyways, guys, that has been the CarbonRom for the Galaxy Note 2 on Verizon. It's going to function on any other device, basically the same. You're going to have all the customization features. You'll have the performance, will be awesome, and the battery life will be great on other devices as well. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. It helps me more than you know. Subscribe to this channel for more videos like this in the future. I also cover the Galaxy Nexus, the Galaxy S3, the Droid DNA, the Nexus 7, Nexus 10, and other devices as they come out. You can find more of me at DroidModerX.com, where I'll have the latest in Android and tech news. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, where I have information on any articles that I post. I'll have information on YouTube videos that are coming out or that I'm working on. And I'll also update you guys on any giveaways or contests that I'm doing. So you'll definitely want to be sure that you're following me at DroidModerX. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.